All right, Patrick, thank you so much for being here. Tell me really quickly, why did you choose to use Ciprani instead of doing it yourself this time around?
Chose to hire Ciprani because, frankly, I'm just not my skill set to hire. I've done it. I tend to hire myself over and over again, and it doesn't work. And frankly, I was in the middle of the hottest market in the country, and I'm thinking, why take away from dollar productive activities to make a hire? When we look at the numbers, it made more sense to hire you.
Awesome. And so, obviously, when we started the process, we got you in touch with a hiring consultant. We kind of set you up with how the process was going to go. Did you really think that somebody like Cody was going to come out of there? I know we made a pretty good hire.
I did have some anxiety around it for sure. Um, but when we got into it, the candidates were all really well qualified. And one of my favorite parts was when I started putting it out there that I'm looking to hire, uh, I got a lot of people that said they were interested. And instead of having to reject clients and friends of friends and all that, I said, great, let me connect you with my hiring consultant and they'll talk to you about the process, not me. And that was such a great handoff.
Yeah, and we're able to let them down, right?
Right.
Which makes it so that it's not as bad for you to do that, and it's just an easier conversation, especially when it's friends and family. So awesome. Well, so tell me really quickly. So you guys got into the process, and maybe we can switch over to Cody. But when you met Patrick and you kind of started going through the process, what did you think?
I mean, the process was something I hadn't done before in terms of, I think we did about six separate meetings together, and not including Patrick, but about six total interviews, if you will say. And most jobs I've ever gone to, it's always only been 1 to 2 interviews, and then you get the job. After about the third and fourth one, as I kept going on, I was like, wow, this job is pretty serious, that they're qualifying this many people for it. So it was a great opportunity, in my opinion, to be able to go through that.
Yeah, and do you feel like you learned a ton about Patrick and what he needed, and even about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we set those boundaries ahead of time and figured out what both works for him and works for me, and I think I laid a good groundwork for the both of us.
Awesome. Well, so Patrick, if I bring it back to you, talk to me about, once you met Cody, like, was it love at first sight with regard to employee and employer? Or what did that look like?
Definitely when we got that initial video, and frankly, it was nice to have somebody actually do the full hiring process the way it's supposed to go, because I'm a high D personality. I don't have time for that. So I always mess that up with interviewing people. And so it was nice to have it somebody else slowing it down. But we got that initial video, and I think I knew pretty quickly that he was top 2, top 3 candidate immediately, just from his experience and his ability to answer those more difficult questions, logical problem solving, and things like that.
Yeah. Well, and when we were taking him through the process, how did you end up coming down to just him? What were the key things that he kind of exuded and had that you were like, that's it, that I know that I'm going to make that higher? Because I think that that's the part that a lot of people actually really struggle with, right? Especially because they're going too fast. So, slowing it down, really helping people stay to the process is key. But then, when it comes time to pull that trigger, I think there's a lot of people that really struggle with, like, well, is this my person? Are they going to stick around? Like, I don't know. What made it happen for you?
Um, I guess a few things. When we were going through the process of describing who I was trying to hire, I honestly didn't want anybody with any real estate experience. Y'all did provide a few of those, and I was open to talking to them and understanding. But at the end of the day, I wanted somebody who was highly organized, who understood what it meant to, I hate to say have a real job, but work for other companies and be a little bit entrepreneurial minded. And Cody had kind of all that kind of trifecta of skill set. He was also just open and honest and willing to share about his life, and that is something that a lot of people kind of hold back on, I think. And Like, it's great if you're a perfect fit for the job, but we also have to work together every day. And if we don't have that personality click, it's never going to last. And once he was willing to open up and kind of tell his story, I felt really comfortable.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cody, do you feel like we we put Patrick into a light that was like, this is who I want to work for?
I mean, most definitely, especially just off the bat that he even hired a consulting firm to hire somebody and bring me on board. It showed me that he truly cares about this position and that he's not just trying to hire somebody to throw everything else on. And so when I first had got on that first initial video with him and first came down to Austin and visited and met with him, it was really just something that I felt comfortable working with him, and I know he's somebody that I can go in each day or even on the weekends and know that I will have a secure job in place and somebody I can rely on.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, and I think that, there are times when we will do a lot of interviews with people, Cody, where they feel angry for all of the interviews, right? Instead of the opposite of feeling like, hey, we're trying to really make sure that the two of you are a match and that you're going to work well together. And so, I know that we did a lot of interviews with you and you said that was a good thing. Can you see how other people would feel stressed about that and kind of have some anxiety around that? And just talk to us about, did that ever actually go through your head? Like, how many interviews do I need to do before I get this job? And, I think it shows that you are a growth-minded individual and that you didn't come from that place of like, what the heck? You kind of liked it, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, for me, after the first couple interviews of when it was just me and the prior consultant, I wasn't sure when I was going to be able to go on and meet Patrick. And once I figured out the timeline and I saw like I had 3 more calls to do, at first I was kind of like, okay, is this really worth it? Do I need to put all my effort and energy into it? Because I was still in the process of moving halfway across the country and trying to find a job and interview with other companies. And so when I looked at like the numbers of it all, it made sense. Like if somebody's going to utilize 4 or 5 separate interviews of their time, they're looking for somebody that is more than qualified for the position.
Awesome. Well, so he also signed up for our consulting, which is awesome. And I know that you didn't have that experience that we were looking for. And we were actually looking for somebody that didn't have the experience because we wanted to teach them everything, right? And so how have you felt about that rolling into the consulting? I know you're with Mike Swenson. Talk to us about that a little bit.
For me, it's an eye-opener. I mean, I come from a background of marketing and management and really never knew or had the thought of going into real estate. My family said it would be a good opportunity, but I just had never really looked into it. But meeting with Mike every week, it gives me a better insight of the way I should be looking at things, not from only Patrick's perspective, but from another person's perspective that's in a completely different market than us. So learning all the stuff from him along with learning from Patrick is a huge plus.
That's awesome. And Patrick, how do you feel about the consulting, all the systems and the processes that are kind of coming at you guys like a fire hose at the moment? How are you feeling about it all?
Yeah, we're in the middle of a market shift with this as well, right? And so it's nice having those resources for sure. He knows that I'm kind of hey, this is a great idea, let's implement it. And it's been nice for him to slow me down, and then he talks to Mike about it, and then he looks at some of the resources that you have already in place, so we don't have to recreate the wheel. Like Gary Keller always says, business is simple, but it's just not easy. And y'all made that easy part a little easier with those systems and processes that we can plug and play. I really appreciate that.
I love that. And one of the things that we that we set out to do was just to give, somebody like Cody the actual systems and processes so that he didn't have to, think big picture and like, what are we really doing? And then what are all the steps to that? And so, Cody, when we go over those things and then you have to implement them, do you find that some of those templates, it just makes it so much easier to know what's expected of you and what the actual job is for contract to close and those type of things?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, when I try to create the wheel again on my own, it's so much harder because I'm cross-referencing so many other resources out there. By having your guys' solutions in place or those templates in place for me, it makes it a lot easier, so I can just reference those, knowing that they're going to be a quality thing to go back to and be able to implement into our own business.
I love it. Well, one of the cool things is, we want to give you those things, and then we know that as you learn and you really become accustomed to what this, world of real estate looks like, and really more what Patrick's business looks like, you can take those things and make them even better, right? And that's the goal, is to continue to build upon it and make it better. And so, fast forward here, well, really quickly, actually, let me just ask this one question. When you guys started, Patrick, what did the business look like? And because there is that shift in the market right now, have you guys slowed down a little bit, or are you just cranking on all cylinders still?
Well, I'm not going to lie. The market shifts has been a little discouraging just because it went to an immediate halt. We've chosen to be more purposeful with it. I've noticed a big void in the market. Every realtor in the world that was championing themselves as the most amazing realtor 6 months ago has gone silent. And there's this void to fill. And our whole goal is to take market share while most of these realtors are on the sidelines. And Cody's gotten that, and we've pushed hard on it, and that's why we're enthusiastic about what's coming. We're feeling good about it, despite the numbers being down or off right now.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate you answering that last question, because I think that's what a lot of people are doing, and the fact that you're going to capitalize on that, and that the two of you are a team going after that, is really fun. And I could already tell that that's what was going to happen. So
100%.
I appreciate your time.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
You just listened to me interview Patrick and Cody. They are probably one of the best duos that we've put together in Ciprani Consulting history. And so if you want to be like them and you want to be paired up with somebody that can take your business to the next level and help put systems and processes in place, call us now, because we can do that for you, and we're excited to take you to the next level.